Hey, 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 hey! Hello, everybody, and happy Tuesday. It is a Tuesday of Tuesdays, and I hope you chose this GIF Ed today. Hey, see what I did there? I'm a poet and I know it. But if you are watching right now, go ahead and holler at your boy. I got my comments set up over there all nice. I'm improving at this. I got a whole setup now. It's amazing. So if you're here, swipe in. Let me know that you're here to listen to this GIF Ed, where we are talking about the benefits of training more than 3 times a week. So really something I'm passionate about, something I like telling my one-on-one clients about, something because I want to help you guys understand this process. A lot of the times in the fitness industry, there's a whole lot of do this, do that, this works, this doesn't, but we don't get into the why. Why should I train more than 3 times a week? Well, I'm going to explain some of that to you. We'll touch a little bit on the science behind it, the reasoning behind it. I'm not going to go too in depth. This won't be a lecture, don't worry. But I often find that if you know the whys behind certain things in the fitness industry, behind why we do certain things, you're a lot more likely to do it. You understand the process, you feel involved in the process, just overall better. So yeah, Karine, hello, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Paloma, hello. Hope you are having a lovely day. It is 12:30, almost lunchtime. Your boy has a lovely little mince lunch waiting for him when he's done with this. Compliments of Mandy. Shane, I actually promised her because she did my session this morning at 7 o'clock. If you have not seen that session, go to the app, go to lives, go to Tuesday, 7 a.m. Edgar and Mandy. It was a vibe, it was a thing. So go to that, check it out. I'm meant to be treating her to the day because I got her up in the morning because she's not a morning person at all. But she helped me during that session, and she cooked me lunch. So I'm winning today. So I owe her big time. Pat, hello, welcome to the show. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. Super keen for this topic. It is oftentimes I find getting us to train frequently in the week can often be a challenge. I know we're not always super motivated to get it done, but I'm here to tell you why it's necessary to do that. I know for me, out of every 10 workouts I do, I'm excited to do maybe 5 of them. I'm neutral about another 2, and I really don't feel like doing those last 3 out of every 10 on average. But I know the sessions that you don't want to do, those are probably the ones that are the most important. Your body's sending you a signal. That's often where change is about to be had. I explained the reasons why just now. So those are the sessions that are really important. So I want to explain the reasons as to why. Candace, hello and good afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Paula in the building, hello. We got Candace. Hey, Candace, hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. Okay, so the rest of you are going to dribble in, swipe in, let me know you're here. But let's get going into the benefits of working out 3 times a week or more. So how I like going back to breaking down the human being to its most basic components. Now, even though we are the smartest animals in the animal kingdom on this planet called Earth, we are at the end of the day still animals. We are still governed by the laws of nature. That's just how we are put together. So all the science, all the reasoning, all the things that affect nature affect us equally, just the same, no exceptions. Even though we're hijacked how our environment to suit us a little bit better, we're still natural beings at the end of the day. So the laws of nature still apply. So the same way you're going to take care of your dog, for example, like, oh no, my dog needs to be walked at least a couple times a week, and he needs to go for this, blah, blah, blah. Same thing applies to the human body. The human body has certain requirements that need to be met in order to keep it healthy. So that's just how we're put together. We weren't put together with cars and houses and all the conveniences and luxuries we've become accustomed to. When we were slapped together and put together, none of that was bared in mind. So the human body has a system that it uses to improve, to maintain, to stay healthy. Part of that system it has to do with your exercise. So now the body uses a use it or lose it type system, because keeping you 100% healthy, keeping every system in your body, your heart, your liver, your lungs, your muscles, your brain, keeping everything going requires a lot of energy, a lot of resources. It's a lot of hard work. So your body being naturally kind of lazy, but more trying to be efficient, tends to emphasize and de-emphasize systems that don't seem as necessary or important. So think of your body like a company. Your body's a company. Your brain is the CEO. Your brain is also the CFO. Your brain is the coordinator. All the hierarchy management type thing happens here in the brain. You have your heart, very important part of the puzzle. Your liver, your kidneys, all the organs, they all work together to make sure the company as a whole is thriving. So now your CEO is looking at the charts, looking at everything, and it's like, okay, cool. We have to, let's say you need 2,000 calories of energy a day. That's how much we need an influx of finances coming in. That's how much we need to break even and stay afloat. So your body's like, okay, cool. 20% of that needs to go to the brain, needs to go to management because they do a very important job. We need those resources to keep it going. A certain percentage needs to go to the muscles. A certain percentage needs to go to the liver, the heart, the kidneys, so on and so forth. What your brain is going to start doing is it starts looking at like which departments are not pulling their weight, which departments don't seem like they're being productive to the overall company. So if it decides, hey, listen, we haven't used our muscles in a really long time. Why are we investing 15% of our resources towards them? We shouldn't be. It's a waste of resources. We're going to now start retrenching a couple muscle fibers because they're not productive, they're not useful, they're not doing anything. Why should we spend resources on them? So we're going to chop off a couple muscle fibers, thus reducing our overall expenses. That 2,000 calories, we'll reduce that down to 1,600 because we retrenched a couple muscle fibers. We no longer need to pay them. We'll reduce our overall spend. This is a win. But what that does is it reduces your overall labor force. You're making the company overall weaker because you have less hands to do certain tasks. So when a heavy task is placed upon the body, like, oh, we now need to walk or hike or exercise, whatever it is, you have less available skills and resources towards that task. So that's an example of how the body tends to work and how there's, even though some decisions the body makes seem good in the short term, may not be good in the long term. Okay, I hope you're still with me. Feel free to interject any questions if at any time I am losing you. So that's basically how the human body works. It's the brain is the command center. It makes decisions based on how the overall company is performing. So to that use it or lose it system, your body does not respond optimally or maximally to single events. If you are, think of it like you're in the wild, you have to hunt for your food, you have to walk far distances for water. Your body responds to its environment. If its environment is very luxurious, it doesn't require a lot of effort, you don't need to do much to get all the resources, then your body tends to make that system more efficient. I'm not going to spend the resources in keeping our muscle fibers alive. I'm not going to spend the resources in keeping our heart in tip-top condition. I'm not going to spend the resources in keeping our blood vessels and cardiovascular system as efficient as possible because those things are expensive. Think of it like the ANC government. It's like, we can do without that. If we're not using it, cut the budget. I'll use the budget for me. Cut the budget on that, I'll use the budget for me. So if those systems are underutilized, your body does not spend the time and resources in keeping them efficient. So if you're only really exercising no times a week, once a week at most, 3 times a month so you can get your vitality points, then your body's like, listen, that's not enough of a reason to keep those structures going. No reason to keep the heart healthy, no reason to keep the blood vessels optimal. There's just no reason for it. You start training more frequently though, because your body responds to frequency over intensity. Doesn't matter how hard you train for one single day in the week, your body only registers that as a single event. It was like, it's a once off, it barely ever happens. We can deal with it. We don't need to pump the resources in. But if you start doing it frequently, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, as soon as you hit 4 times a week, you're doing it more days in the week than you're not doing it. your body tends to register that as being significant. It is a significant stimulus. Even if you're not training super intensely, the fact that your body is registering, hey, this dude is doing that exercise thing again. It's like the 5th time this week. He's just not going to stop. The way our cardiovascular system is right now, the way our heart is right now, our muscular system, our lungs, all these structures, the way we have them now, do not support what this body is doing. So the CEO and the CFO and all the management in your brain decide, okay, we need to invest the resources in improving these structures. Right now, it's a very inefficient way we're doing it. We're doing it very often. Let's invest the resources and the budget towards improving those structures. And that's when the body starts to, okay, we're going to improve our cardiovascular system so we can supply oxygen to all the moving muscles because it demands it. And the benefit of that is your cardiovascular system is improved so it can feed working muscles a little bit better. But then even when the working muscles aren't working, you have an improved cardiovascular system, meaning your heart is just a little bit healthier, a little bit stronger. It improves your lung function. It does it for exercise, but you get the benefit of having an improved lung function. And so on and so forth. Your kidneys get a little bit better at what they do in order to remove toxins from the body from exercise. Your liver gets more efficient at processing those things. Your digestive system gets more efficient at processing food to feed your muscle fibers. And at the end of the day, as almost like a byproduct of that, you end up with more efficient body systems. Doesn't happen if you're only using it once a week, 3 times a month, every so often when the fitness bug bites you and then you lose interest a month from now. It only happens, continues to build upon itself when it's a frequent response. The body responds best to frequency over intensity. So you don't even need to be training as hard as you possibly can every single time you're training. The fact that you're off your bum, you're exercising, your heart rate had to elevate, your muscles demanded just a little bit more oxygen than normal. Just that, even if it was a 50% effort, your brain registers, hey, he's doing that exercise thing again. Are the structures we have in place adequate to support this function? Because it happens 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. It happens very frequently. We need to invest the resources in order to make sure this thing is efficient. Because if it's not efficient, this dude is eventually going to kill us. We cannot support him. We cannot support this function this way forever. So the reason why you need to make this a frequent stimulus is to convince your brain that investing all those resources are worth it. Granted, you need to partner that up with a very good nutritional plan that nourishes you and gives you all the resources you need in order to invest those resources back in. So it doesn't matter how badly the road needs to be repaved and redone and improved. If you don't have the bricks and the budget in order to do that, then it doesn't matter how great the need is, you don't have the resources. Similarly with exercise, your body registers the need for change and improvements, but you need to nourish it with the right foods in order to have the resources to do that. So that's essentially the reason why you need to train more often. And it's not about 3 times a week or 4 times a week, because your body doesn't know what a week is. All your body knows is the passage of time. It doesn't know the difference between it knows the difference between a day you have a biological clock that tracks single days, but a week, a month, a year, mostly for the most part are somewhat arbitrary systems that we have created. A year, a little bit less so. Your body does register change in seasons, but the term of a week and stuff like that, arbitrary. But it's all about training frequently enough to convince your body and your brain that it needs to invest time and resources. Unfortunately, you, the conscious you, the you that is listening to me right now, is not the you that's in control of all these systems. That's a deeper, more subconscious internal you. You need to convince that guy that you need to invest the time and the resources. So think of you like the CEO, and that's the CFO. The CEO calls the shots, but the CFO is actually the one who's like moving all the pieces of the puzzle into things. I hope I'm not losing you in an analogy. I'm getting very deep in this analogy now. But yeah, so that's the basic gist. You're trying to convince the person who's actually in charge of all these internal systems that investing the time and effort into those internal systems is worth it. Some people need less convincing than others. I'm sure throughout your life, you've seen like, oh, I start exercising. It takes me 3 months to get super fit. My friend, it only takes her a month. My son, he's young. He does 2 workouts and suddenly he can run a marathon. Everyone's threshold is going to be slightly different. You need to play with the cards that you've been dealt. Your body is your body. Your company is your company. It has its procedures. It has its terms and conditions. It runs a certain way. Point is, the more frequent the need you place upon it, the greater the response. So you training 3 times a week is always going to be a little bit, will perform slightly less optimally than the you who trains 4 times a week. Similarly, the you who trains 5 times a week, probably going to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit healthier, a little bit fitter than the you who only trains 4 times a week, so on and so forth. As human beings, we're designed to be physically active every single day, believe it or not. Coach Ed, are you telling me I have to train every day? Yeah, I'm basically telling you, you're designed with that in mind. Now, you can't train at 100% as hard as you physically can every single day. That's going to lead to burnout and injury. But you're designed to be physically active every single day. Some kind of movement needs to happen every single day. If you think about the natural environment, every time you wanted to eat, if you weren't chasing something down to hunt it, you'd be gathering some berries, you'd be moving around searching for food. Your body was designed with that in mind. It was designed for our environment to perfectly balance and simulate what we need to affect our behaviors and patterns. Unfortunately, we've manipulated our environment so much, we no longer need to hunt, we no longer need to gather, we no longer need to walk distances for water. So as a result of that, we've forgotten what it means to be a healthy human being, and we had to manufacture our exercise. Because before, exercise was like a consequence of our environment. We didn't need to do squats and lunges and stuff like that. You would squat and lunge naturally doing your thing, just existing. Now, because of how smart we are, we've had to manufacture the exercise and be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of squats today, picking berries off the floor. I'm just going to do the squat motion. It will end result in about the same thing. So we've had to manufacture the exercise. And that's the reason why it's important to be doing that. So you need to be physically active every single day, at least take a walk, take a hike, cycle, do some yoga, undulate between high impact activities where you're doing your HIIT classes and you're really going balls to wall as hard as you can, with lower impact activities where you're taking a nice little walk, you're not looking at heart rate, you're not trying to push yourself. You're just walking for the sake of walking for half an hour, hour and a half, and you undulate between the two. If you undulate your intensity like that, there's absolutely no reason why you can't be physically active 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, because that's more or less what you were designed to be able to do. Okay, let me see if you guys have any questions for me. Jennifer is saying, loving the Ed session, so interesting, and the analogies are awesome. Thank you, thank you. I am the king of analogies. It comes from all my time being, I'm quite introverted, so I'm stuck in my head quite a bit. So these are the things I ponder about. Lauren saying she loves the comparison with the company. Yeah, I think that was a good one too. So yeah, so everyone's saying it makes sense. Oh, Candace has a question. What happens when you go from exercising regularly to not at all due to sickness, for example? How long does the firm stay afloat? So that is very dependent on how active you were to begin with and how non-active you are now. So, and again, there are going to be individual differences. Some people will be more greatly affected than others. Also depends how sick you actually were. But for example, worst case scenario, let's say you are completely 100% bedridden and you're basically in a coma, you're not moving at all. Studies have shown that someone can lose 20 to 50% of their muscle mass in 1 week of inactivity. So your body is so efficient at this using or losing system that you can lose half the amount of muscle mass you're carrying on your body after just 1 week of remaining completely still out cold. Now, 50% is the extreme, not seen very often in most people. It tends to gravitate more to about 20%. And that's for completely inactive. You're out cold. If you are awake and even slightly moving, you tend to mitigate that. What you need to try and do is figure out, what are you sick with? What is the prognosis? Consult your doctor. Are you cleared to do any sort of exercise? Can you still walk, for example? If you can still walk, then that is more than enough to maintain what you have going in the short term. If it's no, let's say you have right now, COVID is the hot button illness that's where the whole world is struggling with right now. And like, listen, even walking can't risk my heart rate going too high, doctor's orders. Then you focus on getting better. The prime focus in times of sickness is get better from what you're sick from, because you can always reclaim fitness later on. So you don't want to risk making things worse in the short term for the sake of, oh, I can't let my fitness go down at all. Being sick is being sick. You staying alive is number one priority here. After that, you focus on getting better. And then when you're able to incorporate very gentle, very light physical activity, notice I'm saying physical activity and not necessarily exercise. Just like, listen, I'm going to walk around the block once. That's my physical activity for the day. I'm going to take a nap after that because I'm still struggling with oxygenating my body properly. So that's going to knock me out. Cool, you do that. If you're like, listen, even a walk around the block is too much, I'm going to walk down the street and back. That's it for the day. Tomorrow, I'll try to walk a little bit further. It's play within your means, play with what you're allowed to do. You don't want to risk things getting worse, because you can always reclaim fitness back later on. As long as you're not sick for months at a time and physically inactive for months at a time, you should be able to stay afloat. It shouldn't be too big a deal. Oh my gosh, Sharon is saying that's when I had COVID and put off 2 weeks that my centimeters went up and my muscles got weaker. Yes. So unfortunately, your body is very extremely efficient at going downward, not as efficient at going back upward, because it's easier to destroy than it is to build. But yeah, something like COVID is going to set you back somewhat. All depends on how severe your COVID was. There are protocols in place to help build you up, but seeing some regression and some setbacks during that time, perfectly normal. It isn't the end of the world, though. I mean, being sick is being sick. You can't control for factors like that. There are two things that you are always in complete control of, however, that is your attitude and your effort. So attitude, you try and stay as positive as you possibly can. Effort, again, always listen to your doctor, always play it safe, but don't take it as oh, I have COVID. I feel kind of fine, but I'm just going to do absolutely nothing for the next 2 weeks anyway. It's, well, are you cleared to do walking? If yes, do some walking. Even a little bit of physical activity is 1,000 times better than nothing. So play with what you're allowed to do with. Always keep it safe. You don't want to do anything stupid and risk the sickness taking longer to heal. You getting back to 100% healthy is always the number one priority. But don't be lazy and using it as an excuse either. Find out what the minimum you're allowed to do is and start there. Any more questions? If you guys have any questions, please feel free to stop me at any time. I can talk for hours on topics such as this, and I will start to go on tangents. So I'm trying to stay on beat here. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free. But yeah, so that's the basic gist. That's why we need to train more often. A peak healthy, physically active, 100% on point human being is going to be physically active 7 days a week. Not quite 365. You are allowed a couple lazy days, and a couple lazy days can be very good for you. But, you know, out of the 365 days of the year, call it 355 are physically active days, where at the very least, at a minimum, you're walking around, you're getting at least 5,000 steps a day, you are moving your body, you're getting blood going. Because your body repairs itself, keeps itself fit, keeps itself healthy, best under stimulation. Your body does not do well when it's completely unstimulated. Something I struggle with, because my Sundays, I like to be lazy days, just for my own mental health. I like having days when I just switch off from the world. So not much physical activity goes on there. But the other 6 days in the week, I do try to be as physically active as I possibly can. I try and train a minimum of 5 days a week. I try and have one day at least where I'm trying to focus on my physical activity to make up for the fact I'm not doing an actual exercise session then. So that's my strategy. So far, I'm quite proud. I have not broken it the first 6 months of the year. I've trained 5 days a week, every week for the last 6 months, unbroken. So quite proud of that. It was one of my big, hairy, audacious goals for 2021 is to do that for the entire year. Go 5 days a week, unbroken. So far we're on track. We're halfway through, 50%, which is exciting. For you, if you're like, listen, I want to make the next 6 months, I want to make the second half of 2021 the best half of 2021. Join in with me. It doesn't have to be 5 days a week. That's quite a steep goal. But you want to start with, listen, I want to do a minimum of 2 exercise sessions a week, every week for the rest of this year. That is an awesome start. It's a noble goal. If it's more than you have been doing, your body is going to improve from it. And then from there you build. You don't have to start from, oh, Coach Ed says I have to exercise every day and more often. Let me go from 0 to 7 days a week. You need to pace yourself. You need to give the CEO of your body enough time to realize, holy crap, what's going on? Suddenly we're exercising. I didn't know we do that now. Give some time for your body to prep and get ready. But the point is to try and build towards that. Lauren is saying, I was off for 2 weeks and only came back for yoga and Pilates until my body could manage more again. That is absolutely perfect. Yoga and Pilates are really, really good exercise bouts. They're really low impact in the sense that they don't demand too many resources from your body to execute and to maintain, but they're still physically active. Your body still moved. Your joints still got moving. They're a really good way to reintroduce yourself back into exercise after about COVID. So that was a really good plan. You did great. I want to know how you're doing getting back to your prime. Are things going well? If not, hit me up. I'm more than happy to help. And maybe you can chat about some strategies you can use moving forward. Sharon is saying, we love you, Coach Ed. Aw, love you too. Did your guided walk 60 minutes on Sunday, which is great, active recovery. For now, I'm focusing on myself to walk after lunch for 30 minutes. Another great tool, if you take a walk, doesn't even need to be 30 minutes long, can be 10 minutes long. After a meal, helps with insulin sensitivity, which means it improves your insulin response. So if you're diabetic, that's an awesome tool you can use. It's actually twice as effective as metformin. Metformin is the leading diabetic drug to control insulin sensitivity, and taking a 10-minute walk after a meal is twice as effective as the leading drug. I mean, you can't beat nature. Nature has this thing pegged. So a 10-minute walk after meals, you improve digestion, insulin sensitivity, glucose response, overall health, it's just a winner. So that is a really awesome tool. Do not skip out on those 10-minute walks. And if you're trying to lose a little bit of weight, it does aid towards that. Because if you're a little bit more insulin sensitive, your body is less likely to store extra energy as fat. It's more likely to want to store it as more readily available energy like muscle glycogen. And if you're storing more muscle glycogen, overall your muscles function better, you store less fat, you're just overall winning at life. Simple trick, 10-minute walk after meals. Yeah, we couldn't give into the itis. Are you talking about that whole getting sleepy after a meal itis? I don't tend to get the itis, but on a Sunday, I tend to have like a really nice, I tend to like fast for most of the Sunday, not for anything other than I like to stay in bed really long, which tends to put me on the back foot because I tend to eat 5 meals a day. I'm a larger guy, so my meals are spread out like that. So I tend to fast most of the morning, start my meals quite late, and thus tend to get the itis on a Sunday. I've tried to stop doing that though, because it's not really good for you. But yeah, I'm not perfect. I have some wins, I have some losses. We're working on it. We are working on it. Yeah, so that was my Jeff Ed on the importance of trading more than 3 times a week. I hope you guys found this beneficial. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to hit me up at any point in time. Me, all the other coaches, everybody at Jeff, we are here to serve you guys. So if you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook, on WhatsApp. More than happy to help. Even if you need like a 5-minute call to help brainstorm your specific situation, here to help you. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday, and we'll see you in the next one.
is back with the Fiercely Feminine reboot.
We are bringing you the Best of Me challenge. I'm so excited to talk to you about the Strength One challenge with myself and Amy.
Kate and Adrian's Winter Warm-Up Challenge.
Me and Coach Liz have combined efforts and come together to bring you this amazing Level 1 Fitness Challenge.
It is my 21-day Get Out While You Are In Cardio and Core Challenge.
You're going to get exclusive workouts, meal plans. We got steamy jet feds,
Accountability groups.
It is going to be incredible.
Bigger and better than it ever has been before.
We are super excited to get going.
We cannot wait to see you there.
Are you ready to ramp it up?